Now we're going to move over to the National League. And you guys can definitely agree with me or disagree with me in the chat, but I did it by team. So let's get into it. This first guy, I think we all can kind of agree with. Greatest what if Hall of Fame potential for the New York Mets, David Wright. 296 average, 242 career home runs, 970 career RBIs, 49 career WAR, 1,777 career hits. He debuted in 2004. Injuries started piling up in 2009. Concussion, stress fracture in his back, and the final and career-ending spinal stenosis. And unfortunately, we got a couple guys on this list with that same exact thing. David Wright, the biggest what if, and do you think he would make the Hall of Fame if he's an injury-free career?
I feel like David Wright was a Hall of Famer if he was healthy. He's already considered to be one of those kind of all-time Mets, given even the length of career that he had. But he was definitely on pace to be one of those guys who was, would have probably been on the Mets Mount Rushmore of players, and loved by fans. Everything he had everything.
Captain America, baby. Captain America. Yep. Yeah, even fans that weren't fans of the Mets love David Wright. Like, that was the type of dude he was. Love it. Mike Reed says if he played 6 more years healthy, he probably gets in easily. Yeah, Wright and Johan Santana are my top 2 for this overall. Agree. We talked about Johan Santana on Sunday. Slam dunk. And he still should probably almost get in. There are guys with injury-shortened careers in the Hall of Fame, Sandy Koufax. Now, I'm not saying Johan Santana is Sandy Koufax before you all bite my head off. I'm not. But he had some stretches where Johan Santana was the best pitcher in the game. Disgusting.
One of the best pitchers I ever watched.
Oh, yeah. Easy. Hands down. But, yeah, David Wright for me is a slam dunk Hall of Famer if he gets 5 or 6 more years. He doesn't lose any of those years to injury for sure.
He was so good.
Yep. All right. Greatest what if potential Hall of Fame, Ryan Howard from the Phillies. 258 career average, 382 career home runs, 1,475 career hits, almost 1,200 RBIs, Rookie of the Year, MVP, 3-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, and then the injuries, and get ready for this list. 2011, Achilles tear in the NLCS. 2012, broken right toe. 2013, multiple injuries, missed 82 games. 2014, left knee injury, missed 75 games. 2015, left knee injury again. He missed the last 17 games and then went into the offseason. So the knee was a recurring theme the rest of his career, lost his power. Is Ryan Howard a Hall of Famer if he has no injuries?
He's a tough one because he played big chunks of seasons and then would miss the last chunk of it. So he played in 2011 played 152 games and then obviously had the injury problem. In 2014 he played 153 games, 2015 he played 129, 2016 he played 112. He had some seasons where he played most of it. But the problem is when he got hurt, he was completely gone for stretches. And then the question always became he never seemed to come back 100%. So it's it's hard to tell what you really did get of him. But in terms of power hitters, he was one of the guys that had some of the most power of that era. I mean, he would just sit back on the fastball and just flick it to left field, and it would be in the second deck.
Yeah,
but
Curtis,
I think for him it's low batting average on a lot of hits, a lot of power, terrible defender. He probably isn't a Hall of Famer, but I think he's a guy that you're talking about as somebody who was, close.
Yeah. Curtis, and he backs you up right here, Harrison. That batting average is the killer, though. He's just a slugger. That's all he was.
Ton of strikeouts. A lot of strikeouts. Could not catch the ball to save his life.
Yeah.
But he hit some absolute bombs.
John Temple says Howard is in the Hall of Light Tower Power, so he'd be borderline, maybe get in on his final vote guy. I agree with that. Kind of a, strung along the ballot for a few years type of guy, gets in on a week year. And Devish backs that up. If he was able to keep up the homer pace, more than likely. I mean, 500, unless you're on roids, is pretty much the automatic ticket to the Hall of Fame. And Mike Reed asked us that question. If he stayed healthy, does he get to 500? Not really sure. I mean, you're what, 118 short? I mean, possibly. He had some 45, 50 home run seasons in there.
But even
It's
in the
tough.
injured seasons, like he would have, he had 23, 23, 25. Like, he still would put up some numbers, but it definitely wasn't the same. I mean, he probably he probably would have ended up at like, 450, 475. So like close, but not, probably
Yeah.
still not quite there.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't Howard show up one season and forget how to hit? That sticks in my head. I mean, I think he struggled a lot, but I mean, Chris Davis is the one that completely forgot how to hit. But
I mean, in 2016, Ryan Howard hit under 200 and just like flailed all season.
yeah,
And then he retired. He was like, I'm done. I clearly got nothing left.
yeah,
That might be the season you're thinking of because he was a train wreck.
yeah. Forrest said he sounds like Reggie Jackson. Yeah, the epitome of a slugger, no doubt.
Yep. I
Curtis
got
says
one swing.
yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Curtis says the best Phillies first baseman is Dick Allen ever. Yeah, hard to disagree with that.
Yeah.
Greatest what if Hall of Fame potential for the Atlanta Braves, Steve Avery. 11 seasons, 96 and 83 win-loss record. A little high on the ERA here, 4.19. 980 Ks and 1,554 and 2/3 innings. 14 career WAR, also pretty low. One-time All-Star in 93. But it was after the 1993 postseason that injuries started to take over. And a lot of people are saying it's due to the heavy workload he had early in his career. He pulled a rib cage muscle and like an armpit rib cage muscle there, and it led to his change of pitching mechanics and just never could get it back. But you put Steve Avery in that Hall of Fame rotation with Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz and all those guys. Is Steve Avery the biggest what if Hall of Fame potential for the Braves? And does he get in?
I don't. I look at Steve Avery's career. I mean, this guy who won 18 games twice in his first 3 seasons. He had an ERA around 3, and then it really started to creep up. It was 4s, 5s, 6s after that. Basically he was out of baseball full time in '99 at the age of 29. I mean, he carried a mostly full workload even in those down years. So I mean, I definitely think the pitching mechanics thing was real. He was never the same guy after '93. He definitely made changes and never got his stuff back. But I think that he's a guy, if you had seen a full slug of his career, he probably is a guy who's in that conversation. He probably is the guy who would have, 200 wins, 200 plus wins, and be in slightly higher ERA, but he'd have the wins. Not a big strikeout guy, but enough, but definitely a guy that would have racked up wins on that team.
Yeah, I think the wins definitely would have been there. There wasn't such thing as a workload in the early 90s. So, I mean, you went out and you pitched every fifth day. If your arm is a little sore, like, I don't care, buddy. Like, you're still going 7, maybe 8 innings. If you're still getting outs, you're still going out there to pitch. It's, yeah, I don't think he would make the Hall of Fame. But for me, it was just the injuries and so early that it happened in his career that affected his mechanics for the rest of his career that it's hard. He's a hard one because the injuries happened so early in his career. And he, like you said, put together 2 or 3 great seasons before the injuries. 18 wins is damn good season.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's hard. I don't think he quite has enough to get to Hall of Fame, but very good.
No, I mean, I think he would have been close. He would have been in the conversation.
Yep. Javi Lopez, a good one, Brandon. Felt like a better Brave to me. Yeah. He's a good what if for sure. Hall very good in his prime, did get overshadowed by the big three, so that hurt him as well. Yeah, agree. John Carter says for the Braves, it's Dion for me if he focused on baseball. Triples, steals, defense, and the average was coming the more he played. That could be a good one too. I
Yeah.
mean, I went with Bo Jackson for the Royals. I mean, easily could have gone Dion here for that too. So that's a great one.
Yeah, that's a very good point because he did. Dion had moments and
Yeah.
stretches where he looked really good,
Yeah.
but then he'd be back on the football field.
Yeah. Forrest says being the fourth guy in a rotation with Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz, I'm surprised he didn't develop a mad case of the yips. Just trying to stay with those guys. Yeah.
That's a tough act to follow.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for Rafael for call felt like he should have been better as well. Agree. He came up with a lot.
Yeah, he's a guy I've always wondered about. I used to love for call. He'd do that slap bunt.
Oh
He'd
yeah.
fake the bunt and then just like slap it down the throat of whoever's on the third base side.
Yeah.
It
Oh
was
yeah.
just mean.
Yep. He was a blast to watch for sure. All right. This one, I
Yeah.
hate this. I hate this one.
So much.
Yeah, but the greatest what if Hall of Fame potential for the Miami Marlins, Jose Fernandez. We're all familiar with his story. 38-17 win-loss record, 2.58 career ERA, 589 strikeouts in 471 innings, rookie of the year and all-star in 2013, and then his life was cut short after the boating accident September of 2016. Hard to know what could have been, but did this kid have Hall of Fame potential?
What's amazing me is that feels like it happened forever ago, but in reality, that was 10 years ago. Um,
Yeah.
he'd be just coming, he'd be entering his age 33 season right now.
Yeah.
Still a dominant ace of somebody's staff. Yeah, I mean, he was unbelievably good. He had a bit of a bumpy injury track record,
He did.
kind
He
of
came off of
already.
Tommy John, right? I think.
Yeah, I mean, he'd already missed a lot of time with injuries, so it's like you got such a small sample set. But when he was right, I mean, his stuff was elite. He was up there with the best of them. I feel like if you got a healthy, 12 to 15 years out of this kid, yeah, this would have been a guy with 200 plus wins, probably a ERA somewhere around 3, and he would have been considered one of the best pitchers in baseball for a long stretch of that. So I'd like to believe he would he would have had a shot.
Yeah, I agree. I think the talent was there. Undeniably, the talent to make the Hall was there. Now, I do have a little bit of reserve, right? Because, like you said, the injuries with him, and then look at Sandy Alcantara the last couple of years. Cy Young, absolute dominant season with the Marlins, and then we haven't been back since our injury, right? Like really Sandy Alcantara form. And I feel like Fernandez could have fallen into that as well.
Mhm.
Um, but saying that Fernandez's stuff was even more electric than Alcantara's was in that Cy Young season, which is saying something because Alcantara was disgusting.
Yeah.
But Fernandez was next level. Um, he was must see TV every time he was on the mound. Um, yeah, he had the talent to get there for sure. I'm with you. He would be
Yeah.
considered, and he'd still be dealing today, which is crazy.
Yeah, he was like the new age version of Pedro. I mean,
Yes,
he could take a game over. He would battle. He had no fear, but he had a fun personality. Like I remember him catching the line drive from Tulo, and he's like, "You caught that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And they're like laughing
yeah,
and smiling about it. Like, and he had a lot of moments in the field like that. Like he had that fun personality, but he'd also throw a ball into your ear flap if you
right,
crossed him. Um,
yeah,
he had that edge.
yep, yeah. Brandon says Fernandez is possibly biggest what if he was so electric. Captain's with us, yes. Michael said if he had a full career, he'd be in. Brandon then follows back. He could have probably hit like Shohei because he could rake as well.
You
I
could,
forgot. Probably pitching for the Dodgers right now. Greg, we're with you. He's like, wait,
yeah.
what? That feels like it happened when I was in high school, not when my son was 2 months. Yeah,
20
I'm with you.
2016, man. It wasn't that. I mean,
Yeah,
10 years is a long time, but still, like, it's only 10 years ago. I mean, this
yeah,
he would be entering his age 33 season right now.
yeah. Crazy.
Still at the edge of his prime.
Yeah, probably leads the league multiple times in Ks, 1,000%. Didn't Chris Coughlin win Rookie of the Year for the Marlins and disappear? Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and this was the biggest thing that I think everybody loved Cap'n was you could see how much he loved the game every start, right? And then you could see the impact he had in the clubhouse, even in his first few seasons, because of what we saw the game after he passed. Everybody's wearing number 16 Fernandez jerseys. D. Gordon hits that mammoth moonshot in the first at bat of the game, that out of a home run, out of a hitter that doesn't hit home runs. I mean, the whole moment was just like eerie, but cool, and just it was baseball. Like that was that was all the feels that moment. It was sadness, happiness. It was everything. It was just a crazy moment to watch. But man, and unfortunately, we've talked about it before. Fernandez's death set that organization back 25 years. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
just blew that
he
team up after that.
he was going to be the guy that they're going to build around, and then he wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, you had
And
Stanton still. You had Yelich. You had Real Muto. You had
yeah,
Justin Bohr. You had Marcelo
that
Zuna. You
team
had all
was
those guys.
big time on the climb.
Yeah, yeah, brutal.
And the
Um,
sad part is, I think this is a cautionary tale for Major League Baseball about the appeal of some of these markets. You put a young kid, he was 23 when he passed. You put a young kid in Miami. He was the face of the franchise. He was the toast of the town. He's in the nightlife. He's in the social scene, and he got wrapped up in it and was doing a lot of stuff he shouldn't have been doing, and ultimately paid the biggest price for it. You put Jose Fernandez in Cleveland or Cincinnati, he's probably still pitching today because
yeah,
he wouldn't have gotten sucked into that scene. But a young Latin player in Miami without like a really strong veteran leader around him that could keep him on the straight and narrow because they were all kids back then together. Yelich and
right,
all they were all kids.
right. Yeah,
I
it's a
mean
great point.
that was a sad situation because he had so much potential and got absolutely sucked right into the social scene of Miami.
Yeah, I remember where I was when the alert came across my phone. I was in my men's league baseball game. I get the alert in the dugout, and I go, "No way!" And everybody goes, "What?" I was like, "Jose Fernandez just passed." I was like, it was crazy. It was like early morning. But yeah, it tough moment for
Yeah,
MLB for
that
sure.
that organization was about to go on a rocket ship ride
Yep.
when all those players matured together.
And possibly maintain that team for a while because they were so young. They didn't
Yeah,
have any massive contracts there. So at that point, I mean, I'm sure Stanton got extended somewhere around that time. I don't know exactly when Stanton got extended, but
yeah, it was shortly after. I'm
was
pretty
it
sure
after?
because
Okay.
that's I think they pivoted and signed him to try to replace him or try to make him the face of the franchise.
Yeah. Crazy.
But sad, very sad story.
Yeah. Speaking of sad stories, greatest what if Hall of Fame
Oh, we're
potential
we're
for
gonna
the
see him at spring training, Nick. Don't worry. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, but I had to.
Yeah, of course. Greatest what if Hall of Fame potential for the Washington Nationals, Steven Strasburg. 113 and 62 win loss record, 3.24 ERA, 1,723 Ks and 1,470 innings, 1.0 career whip. 2010 debuted and then put on the IL in July 2011 after only 5 starts. 2012 Nationals limited his innings on purpose to try to keep him off the IL. Remember they stopped him in August or something like that.
Yep.
2015 injuries limited inning count to only 127, which is a full season now. 2018 22 starts, 156 Ks and 130 innings. So kind of a little bit of a bounce back year. 2019, we all know what Strasburg did in 2019. Just goes ahead and wins the World Series MVP, puts the team on his back. It was 2017 they did that for him, but I know 2012 they also limited his innings. But 2020 left second game, he started with nerve issue in his pitching hand, and then the rest of his career was dealing with a thoracic outlet syndrome. And dude couldn't lift his right arm above his shoulder, tried to retire. The Nationals said yes to retire, and then they took it back, right? It was something weird like that.
Yeah, they were all he basically said he was going to retire. They're like, fine, sounds good. And they're like planning out the ceremony. They're like, no, you know what? We'll see at spring training.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, we were like, wait, what? Like what? How do we get here? You went from like talking about how you're going to honor him to be like, oh no, we'll see at spring training.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah, and definitely. I mean, this guy, when he was coming up, all the fanfare behind him, everybody, I mean, he's throwing what, 100 coming out of college. Everybody was like,
Oh.
this kid's ridiculous. I mean, he was wild. And he was, again, another pitcher like you had to watch when he had to start if you could, because his highlights were incredible.
Yep.
But how the Nationals treated him going out the door is brutal and inexcusable, really.
Well, it is. It is, and also, but at the same time, like the Nationals spent like 5 years trying to baby him to get him back. You know, because he wasn't. You didn't see a full season of Steven Strasburg between 2010 and 2018. Every one of those seasons was either pitch count limited, or innings limited, or hurt. You finally saw basically, what he had in 2019. He basically left all out there. That was it.
Yeah.
He gave you everything that he had left, won that ring, and then was gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, the sample set is just so small because he was never right. He was never healthy.
Yeah, Forrest said that one sucked because he kept showing flashes of brilliance all along. So you kept thinking, well, maybe, but he just couldn't keep it going. Right. And yeah, Curtis said it 2017. Mike said it here. Crazy. He just couldn't stay healthy in 2017. He wanted to keep pitching and try to win it all. And the Nationals were like, no, thanks. Like, we're shutting you down.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
guy wasn't right for a long time, gave you everything he had. And then basically that's all he had left.
Yeah. When a pitcher can't even wave hello, you all have problems.
Well,
and that's the thing. And that's why he tried to retire. He's like, listen, I don't want to try to come back. I can't lift my right arm.
Yeah, so keep in mind, what ended his career is the same thing that Zach Wheeler is coming back from. They both have thoracic outlet syndrome. And so just, people are like, oh, Zach Wheeler's going to be back, no problems. This has taken many pitchers out of the game completely.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a, the general consensus is there's not like a 100% return from TOS. You are kind of forever limited by it.
Yeah, because you don't know when it's going to flare up.
You don't, and you don't know how well your body's going to respond to it. You don't know what level of strength you'll ever get back. Will you ever have the same ability you had before? And that's why I think Zach Wheeler was kind of so anxious to go and get surgery and treatment, because he's planning to retire, and that could be this year if he can't get back out there.
Yeah. And Brandon, good point. Now Paul Skeens only pitches 6 innings, so he doesn't become the next Strasburg. 1,000%. You got to almost baby your superstars like that. So it's wild. But yeah, another incredible what if. But does he get into the Hall of Fame?
I mean, when you saw him right, which I don't even know how often that actually was, there were a few pitchers better. This stuff was elite. The command was elite. The dude was an absolute savage on the mound. I think he's probably a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I'm with you. With no injuries, I think he's there for sure. But yeah, he was fun to watch.
Oh, he really was.
Yeah, Matt Harvey, I think.
Oh yeah,
might have been that same thing too. The Batman, for sure.